Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Brooklyn's Bridge, where you have 7 women speaking real talk in real time. Tonight's topic will be, Baby, Will You Marry Me? And our first point is, how long is too long to wait for marriage? Ladies?
Good. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it depends on.
I want to say right there.
I think it depends on the stage you are in your life. And at 34, I'm not waiting past a year. If I was in my 20s, I might have had a little more patience. But now, if you don't know that you want to marry me after being with me for 6 to 8 months and at least putting a ring on it, then I need to go on to the next one.
Agreed.
Any other single ladies want to chime into that?
I think I've tried that approach, and I think it's you almost set yourself up for failure. Doing that because you're rushing and you're paying more attention to the time than you are the person. So you get caught up in yourself and being a failure to yourself, and you forgot that now you're being mean to the person because you're not doing things in the time frame that you expected them to do it. I think it's basically, you're going to kill the relationship, and you're going to kill the naturalness of the relationship if you get too caught up in the time. A year goes by so fast, and
So does life.
you're right, but
And I think that's why Taisha, she started off well by saying at her age, and at your age, you still have time. But in our case, like, the time is limited. In my personal opinion, I would have to agree with Taisha.
I don't even think that it's the time that really matters, or the age. I think it's, when you initially start to date someone and you're getting to know them, you know whether or not in, like, at least the first 6 months, if this is somebody that you think that you would want to spend the rest of your life with.
But 6 months is time. Consider time.
Yeah. Right. So for a year, that's good time. 6 months, you got to know this person. You spent some quality time with them. You're getting to know more about them. You look and say, okay, well, I think that this is a person that I could spend my life with. You've learned their flaws. They've learned your flaws, or at least some of them, if you're not living together or whatever. But to wait, 2 years, 3 years, if you're not putting the time on it, it's like time wasted. I mean, me personally, not that I wanted to marry this person at all. Thank God that I did not. But, and the question was never asked. But 10 years with a person. But, you spend 10 years with a person, and it's like you feel like I wasted 10 years of my life. I could have been with somebody else those 10 years. And now you're 30, and you have to start over.
right.
How many times are you going to have to start over? If you give somebody 5 years of your life, you're 30, that's 35. Okay, now we decide we're not going to be together anymore. Now I have to start over at 35 and date somebody else. And then for someone that doesn't have kids, you're limiting yourself on having kids.
But even if
All right, so before that thought, let me oppose this question. Once you, to Taisha, Nikki, if you were dating someone and you were at that, when would you have that conversation with him? Like, we're coming up on 1 year, or we've been dating.
I think that conversation starts from the beginning to find out where their mindset is at immediately. So before we even know if we're going into the dating stage, where is your frame of mind?
Exactly. Are you at the point where you're ready to eventually get married? Because that's where I'm at the point.
Right.
And if you're not at that point,
then we're not meant for each other.
I don't need to change. I'm not trying to change your mind.
Okay, so let's take it back right there. You said eventually. So would you say eventually, or would you come right out and say to him, listen, I'm going into this, and I'm not giving this relationship more than 1 year, because in a year's time, if we're still together, I want to be married? Or would you say eventually? Because 1 year, giving him your time frame of 1 year and saying eventually are two different things.
Let me state this. I didn't say eventually. I'm not saying eventually. And I'm stating what I want from the door. And even if I state what I want from the door and you show me something different, you're not going to hear from me, oh, when am I going to get a ring? Oh, when are we going to get married? I know what I need to do. That's exit left.
Right. Because,
so no matter how much you love him, if
he wants to be with me, he will make a commitment. I'm 34 years old. If you want to be with me, you know you want. The same way as women, we know we want to be with a man. Yeah. You want to be with me, you will make the commitment. If not, stop wasting my time.
Exactly. Because it's running out. I don't want to be at the altar at 40 years old.
Okay. But then, are you afraid that I pose this question to you guys because it just seems like you put a lot of pressure on the guy, and not to say that your expectations shouldn't be your expectations, and they very well should be. However, you have some men who feel that as though, you know, why is there being so much pressure put on it for me to put a ring on her finger? If you look for a guy, you go out, you date, you find a guy, you want to make this relationship work. It takes time. So from what point after the dating period, after the commitment in the relationship from the dating aspect, do you say, where does the year start? Right. In there. Right.
For me, the year starts when, well, while I'm dating several, they need to know that I'm dating with the purpose. That's the first thing.
Yes. Okay.
So if we're dating, the year will never start with you if we're not on the same page. That's the first thing. Yes. So if I meet someone who is on my level and we have the same vision, then the year starts when we commit to one another. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it.
And see, the thing is, and it may not seem right what I'm about to say, but I know how to play the game. You don't feel the pressure from me. We're having a good time, we're chilling and everything. You're not hearing me ask you 24/7, when are we gonna get married? But if I stipulate it, and I don't have to get married within a year, but you have to show me that you really want to be with me. Mm-hmm. So if we start dating and I say I'm looking to be married, eventually you are too. If after a certain amount of time you don't go there, how long am I gonna let you drag it out?
Steve Harvey said in his book that there's a lot of single 30-plus women because they dedicated so much of their 20s to these men and these committed long relationships, like Felicia said. And now we're all out here starting fresh and trying to date. And the dating game is not the same anymore.
Okay, so let's move on. Do you think that people should marry for more than just love?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of your age.
Hello, you better.
And where you're at in your life.
Yes. I'm going to marry for more than just love.
Okay, do you care to elaborate on
Absolutely.
That? What is it that you're looking for other than love?
It's not even, I think I will learn to love him more than what he comes with.
I think marriage is a business.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it's a signed agreement, and we're going into a commitment, and the commitment is the business. Like in any business, you need what? Business management papers? So the same way,
a business plan.
We need a business plan to make a successful business work. You need a marriage plan to make a successful marriage work, and within that, finances do fall within that. I'm not gonna date if I know I'm coming to the table. You gotta come 10 times better than I'm coming. And if I'm coming 10 times better than you, then you better be coming at least a third of where I'm coming. And have and have the other qualities. And that's why I personally feel that God is gonna present me with someone who I may not be that attracted to, but will stimulate me in so many other ways where I'm gonna be complete.
Okay, so let's take this to Denise now, because Denise is married. So Denise, when you got married, did you marry for more than just love?
Looking back, I have to say yes. I was definitely in love, but this goes back to the whole living together thing. I was able to live with him and share finances, etc., etc. So it wasn't just me just being in love with him and that's it. You know
but I also think that because, not to cut you off and I apologize, but because when you got married, your age, at 22 and at 35, I don't have 10 years to give a motherfucker. I don't have 5 years to give a dude. It's either we doing this or we not. Those are your options.
Yeah.
Those are your options.
And you know what? I think that your approach now, the mature approach now, will be successful because you're going into it not just with your heart but with your head.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
You're able to weed out
the bad
seeds before you make that mistake. So from the door, you're telling them, "This is me. This is my intentions. So I don't think you're not leading him on or pressuring him.
Yes.
You're telling him from the jump, this is me.
And
it's not changing.
And I don't want it to be misled that I don't want to be in love or love my husband.
Yeah,
right. That's not the case. Because, of course, I want that committed, passionate relationship with the man who I want to spend the rest of my life with. But my heart don't pay the bills.
Okay, so that takes us to our next point. Yeah. Would you marry for love or money?
Both.
You marry for both.
But like if you were in love with someone, madly in love with them, because people do fall in love with people that are not necessarily good for them financially, personally, spiritually. So what happens in the instance when you love this man, he's not good for you financially, he can't provide you with the things that you need at this point in your life, but then there's that man that you do not love, but he can provide you with everything that you need, and he can help you take your life to the next place. Which one would you go with?
I am not dating anyone that I am not attracted to and don't think that I can grow to love, and that's not financially stable. I'm not going to go and just take you for money, but you have to come with something. Come where I'm at. Let's meet here, and then if you are further, it's different. But it's not just money or love. It has to be a mixture of both.
I agree.
That's like a point Denise made earlier, that finances play a big part in a relationship. So to date someone with the expectation to spend the rest of your life with this person and the finances is not on point, then the relationship is just not going to work. There's not even going to be a marriage.
I think the majority of, personal opinion, the majority of a lot of African American women mindset is off when it comes to what's important in a household. Personally,
I think most real men are breadwinners. They're going to get out there and work and offer you and have something to offer their family.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate right now. What happens when you meet a man and he feels like you don't bring enough to the table for him?
And he's not the man for me.
Okay. Because there are some men out there that feel like, I'm at this stage in my life and I'm not dating a woman from a certain neighborhood, of a certain body weight, of a certain complexion, with a certain hair length. The same way that we put these stigmas on
men. He's not the man for me.
Men put stigmas on us.
He wouldn't make up. It's not, I don't want anyone to.
No, but not that the man is for you, but how do you feel when men, because right now we're discussing what a man can offer us, but how do you feel when it's flipped and a man is looking for a woman to bring certain things to the table? Like, he may feel like, I went to Ivy League school, so my wife needs to go to Ivy League school. You may possess all the other traits, but he may feel like your education is just not up to par. So how would you deal with that situation?
I wouldn't meet him.
I am not asking. I'm not asking for anything that I'm not bringing.
And we wouldn't be in the same playing field.
Exactly.
So we wouldn't be dealt the same deck of cards.
I'm not asking for you to be. I'm not asking for you to take care of me, and so I need you to take care of me as a man. I'm not asking for, is he gonna buy me all the Gucci bags and all this? No,
it's not.
But you need to come where I'm at. That means that you can take care of yourself. You're not looking at me to help you pay your rent. I'm not looking for him to help me pay my rent. So when we come together, we're that much further because you can handle it and I can handle it. So how can we grow? If I gotta worry about helping you, no.
That means your business is not going to be successful.
Exactly. Your financial statements have to be
organized, which is a divorce.
Exactly. But that's his preference, though. I mean, everybody is entitled to their preference, as far as who they want to date and who they want to be with. So you can't, say he's right. You can't judge him.
Everybody lives by their own standards.
Right.